G'day, welcome back to my Oxygen Not Included playthrough as we continue to just survive. So, interesting suggestion on this front. Well, two different suggestions. Apologies, can't remember who it was. Someone pointed out that, now you can see there, immediately, that this is blocked. So, what that means is that the plumbing, now that this is attempting to push more in, it's actually just like stalemating that, so it won't continue to go. Now, the other thing that I wanted to look at is down here, at the point this is returning. So if we go here, so we can see the polluted water in there is 27. Pretty sure that's where it's going out. Wrong thing. Plumbing. Okay. It's annoying because I can't see it when it's plumbing. So let's go here. Okay, so there it's 16. Down here it's 29. So it is sort of warming up decently as it comes back. What I could possibly do is expand this slightly just to get it to continue to move so it's not just jammed. Radiant pipe. Where really that it needs to expand to. Possibly we could get it to go like that. Okay. Can I just hit cancel on that? Because I realize that there is a pipe that's hopping over twice to do that. So let's put that liquid bridge in order to do this. Because it is basically taking it to plants. So that's it's the wrong, is it the wrong way? No, that's the right way. Yellow, yeah, okay, good. So, go in there, go out there. What I also want to do with this change is we want to disable him and we also want to, I want to disable this guy, but I want to clear the pipes. No, I don't. Pipes are fine. So let's just quickly disable this guy with 100 priority. Get him clearing. And what we'll do is down here, in fact, what we'll do is we'll deconstruct him. Chuck that with 100 as well, just to get that gone. Okay, so that now means that the fluid that we had coming in is gone. Someone pointed out, and I think a good point, that the if I boil the polluted water, that could let off gases anyway. So really, I want to be putting unpolluted water in there. So that actually probably applies to this guy too. That why are you not running empty pipe? Has that guy got an empty pipe? Have I derailed something along the way here? So deconstructed that accident at some point. So let's same sort of liquid pipes, everything else around it. Let's they're insulated, aren't they? So let's so cancel on that one and that one. Okay. Let's go that copy. That'll probably make it easier. There we go. And say emergency on that. So, I mean, possibly this guy's got the same issue then, right? If he's going steam, and then the polluted water will eventually be what gets hottest next. So, assumably what we want to then do is just get rid of this polluted water, and we only want to be left with the actual steam. In both cases. So, what we're going to do here, plumbing, we're going to deconstruct those two guys there. Where am I going to put this pipe? I think that was the other thing I had a problem with. I think what we'll do is cancel that. Maybe I've already had this plan. So that's the pipe out, isn't it? Right. So all we that's right. I did wonder about that. That sometimes there's such a distance between when I play that I might forget a plan. And the plan here is that is just going to connect there, and now it can just go up. And so what it can do is just head back in here and then populate this space. And so we can say deconstruct that for now. Now, what else we can do is we can go... I don't want liquid to end up going down here into that. And not that it much matters, but what we'll do is we will say deconstruct, deconstruct, deconstruct. And again, we will deconstruct the floor of this guy. So what we're going to do is with both of these rooms, we're going to clear them out of having polluted water in them. Now what we might have to do then is go mop up that. Still let the last bit of that sort of clean itself out. At least little enough that we can just mop it out. Problem though is I realize now carbon dioxide is seeping into this otherwise completely clear room. But what we can do is we can just basically, once we've got this guy turned on, we can just vent both of these rooms at the same time. Although that guy's still there, so I mean he can do it too. So even though we've already got steam in there, we might just have to clear it out again just to get rid of that carbon dioxide. Alright, so let's have a quick check on the venting for this guy. Is it finally all built? It's getting close. I feel that it should be close enough that this guy can at least pump gas up. Why is that considering the pipe blocked that he can't push past the nothingness currently there? Alright, good. So that polluted water is now gone. Let's copy these guys and put them back in place. And then them back in place as well. Now the other thing is that we want to have a look to see how our new plant setup is going. See, very slowly this thing is moving. Basically what we're looking for is the second that one of these actually does... once this is complete, then we've just got to get rid of one of these squares. What are they waiting on? Lead. I mean, that polluted water's got much warmer there, but... it is funny how slow that process is at the moment. So what we'll do at the moment is, apart from ventilation, he's all good. So we'll put... what we can do is we can connect him as well to that same connection that this guy's got, just so that they can both pump out. Just to... I mean, it's probably not looking too bad, is he? Very minimal carbon dioxide. I mean, every square, if I go over him, it's just maybe that one is polluted oxygen. I would call that forgivable. This is back up and running. We're just basically at the mercy of this guy having a flaw again, so let's declare that urgent. See, this guy's off and running. Okay, so then what we want to do is... we want to get clean water down in here. So I feel like the easiest way to do that for this guy would be the water that this guy is using. What we can do is we can put a liquid bridge in here. Put a liquid vent. So there's going to be the closest point. Liquid pipe there. Liquid pipe there. So then what will happen is that this guy and that will just be sharing for a little period. And the dream is that at some point this actually will send the liquid through. But you can obviously see that we're currently dumping this whole chestnut of polluted water in there. So it will be a little while. But at least this guy over here is in the right spot. And the other thing I'm very glad about is that the fact that I thought I had those liquid filters behind the pumps, and at the very least, at least this dude is pumping it straight there. It's not going through the whole process to go back there. I mean, the fact he's going to have to share a pipe is not great, but it's probably one of the more minor issues that we have, and it is a I wouldn't call it a short-term thing, but it's at least a temporary thing that we can get past. I do wonder though if what I should do is put a filter in here. Firstly, let's jump back up to our pipes that we're getting built down here. Okay, so what we want to do is I'm going to grab that guy and say deconstruct. Someone to just jump straight in there so we can focus on it while we spoil and just say mop that huge mess that we've created. This huge mess, the amount of water that does appear in a pipe can be surprising. Oh, even going down even further. Come on, guys. Oh, we're going to get even further down. Down here is also where we need some cooling as well. So hard to judge the cooling at this particular moment because that just spent so long just sitting stationary in the pipes. Now we're going to have it start to flow through a bit more constantly. Now what we want to see is, you can see the water's coming back at 29 and then going out at 15. See if the next lot comes back at a similar sort of temperature. Pipes, and it is those ones that we want to get rid of. As it stands, you can see that the water in there is down to 21, so it is doing a fantastic job at bringing back some of these plants. The water at that point is at 20. This is still at 30, but you can see it's slowly going down. Also, in positive news, you can see how much our water's recovered too, even though this guy can't run because of his constant battle against this polluted water coming in here. And it's me the fact that yeah, you can't even get. I guess it's a combination of how much water is in these pipes that he can't sort of do a full push. He has to keep waiting. I don't even remember what you're for. So back down here, I was wondering if what I should do is actually set up a filter to push crude oil out, because we don't want crude oil ending up in that system at the top. So if we go plumbing, liquid filter, turn it around. Should be able to reach that without too much issue. Yeah, we're finally getting the batteries built too. It does seem like there would be some logic in having just a continuous battery system. As like having 100 batteries, for example. There's no harm in it, is there? It's just it just sort of gives me more of a backup if the battery network ever the battery network, if the actual network goes down at any point. There's just 100 batteries worth of power just sort of waiting to be used. Although I don't recall if this is correct, if they slowly leak power. I don't remember if that was a thing or not, or if I'm just thinking of something else. It's a very long ago memory, though, if that was the case. Okay, so this guy's built. So output 2 is crude oil, crude, up, crude oil. Okay, then we want to say, copy this, go up to there, go across to there. Deconstructed. Liquid pipes, deconstruct those 3. Then I want to build out. I suppose I have to build up. It's going to be too much of a pain. So let's wait for Stinky to get in here and sort this out. It's the way down to the crude oil, isn't it? Cool. So all I've got to do is just get it to this piping here. So, if we swing it down, just so that we can access it a little bit easier. And that, because we don't want to knock the wall. Copy that. Go up and up and up and up and up. Here's what we want to do is do that, and then do another liquid bridge, just to sort of say, like, this is one way, and then put that across. It's power 2, so we can just sort of latch that to this guy right next to him. Someone addresses that soon. Not a massive emergency to get that liquid pumping still. It's like it is just supplying this, which has got a bit more hardy. It's a lot cooler in there too. This is this guy gone dormant? His eruption period is pretty constant there. 400 seconds of every 700 seconds. Someone suggested with this that this guy is only going to pump for as long as he's got available room. Like he won't pump if he's if it's absolutely like what do you call it? Like what these guys have got, where it's just there's too much atmosphere, too much density. Someone suggested that what I could do with that is the canister. But truly, it doesn't make sense to not have this guy pumping all of the time. Wouldn't be canister, would it? Because it's the pipe. It's not the... I know this guy's the liquid reservoir, so do I have like a gas reservoir? that I can see, unless it's that and I just don't know how to use it. But what I think I can do, either way, is I can take this ladder and I can build up. And I can just dig out, like there's... really no reason we can't make this room just bigger. I did see someone commented on the previous one about you could do an infinite gas storage. You can see, say there, he stopped. Although it's just saying he erupts again soon. Do an infinite gas storage. Send a link to a YouTube video. I just want to mention with that I haven't ever watched anyone else ever play this game. Like, my 70 hours or so inside the game is the only 70 hours I've ever seen of the game. And so for now, I do like the idea of maintaining that. There are definitely some complex systems that are too hard to explain in comments and so on. But at the moment, I think that's the only way that I'm going to do anything, is just sort of like an explanation that I can then translate into the way that I'll build it. Still steadily hanging out for liquid. This guy is still just... And I mean, yeah, it's the fact that he keeps getting blocked as well. The thing is, too, that you can see that this water is just sort of going on there. And it's such a trickle that you can it barely feels like you can see it on the top there. So this is a long-term goal, this guy going there. A morb? I don't feel like I've seen a morb either in a long time or ever before. I mean, at the very least, this guy here is still pumping heartily. It's just a bummer to have that guy doing nothing. What is starting to shatter there? Nothing. Should double, or at least double the size of what we've got going on in here. So, it's, at the very least, it's a short-term fix for that period where we lose our natural gas. I mean, the alternative here is that I could pull water from my other reservoir. Where's he gone? Here. Take this pipe and loop that back to over here to get this guy at least going. Alternatively as well, what we could also do would be just run a pipe that goes from here down to there. Actually, I don't mind that at all. We run straight up there. Connect that. See if it flows the right way. But that would at least make that every second part coming out of here heads towards these guys that are just currently barren. And then at some point we would need to correct it so that it's probably not in place anymore. Not that I think it actually would ever it'd impact anything if it was permanently in place. Got no power. Is that on purpose? No. Did I accidentally delete that at some point? Must have been earlier today, because that guy was definitely pumping previously, so... Alright, guess it was me. how are we looking with the rocket? So it looks like there's no fuel pumping through. We're at 890. So we can ask Meep to come back. We can also ask somebody to dig out that massive mess. Have fun, Meep. Or are you just over here just staring at the stars longingly? Let's just have a quick look how we're doing here. Are we still searching anything? Okay, so that seems quite studied. This guy has more studying to go. Again, only really goes so far with this guy. So if we say launch rocket, need to... Yeah, right. Path unblocked. Yeah, now plants are dying because our... Oh no, I don't think these guys got it lower. Yeah. Because we did the insane thing of deleting some pipe, apparently. What is... No, or is it just something overheating? What does that red line belong to? Belong to him? What's he made of? Steel. What's the gripe? Liquid pipe back there. Well, actually, while this guy's down, there's one other thing that we've got to do down here. Is it was suggested that what I put in place here would be a sort of a thermo detector to basically keep the water from overheating. So on this south side here, let's deconstruct that. And actually, let's cancel this pipe there for now. So what we want to do is immediately before here, I want to put a thermosensor. Which I think would go... Right, so it would be... Quickly. See how this setup works. Right, so there's piping still there, it just keeps breaking. Alright, so if I've got this right, it would be that I want to put a thermosensor, say, here. It's about as close to that as I can get. I want a... Basically the idea, actually I'm going to cancel that for now. So basically the idea is that what we want to do is to stop this water from completely freezing in the pipes, is we put a thermosensor in to read the temperature of the pipes, so that if the temperature is too cold, steam's totally gone from in there. So it actually does make sense now to allow this guy to connect to that ventilation. How are we doing over here? I have to, like, express that this is urgent. There's also something that doesn't work here about the fact that that's in space. Need to build this further south. It's okay. It's at that point where that sort of starts to go. It's reachable build, right? Because we need these. Just keep the priority on these a little bit. Trying to move along. Said a few times now, it's a real pain that everything's sort of like a 9 is basically the request to have something looked at. May as well get him pumping because we're not going to lose any steam. It's funny that we have water up over here too, although that'll turn into steam as well once this guy is back to regular self. Surprised that he hit a moment of pipe being blocked there too. So if we go thermosensor to detect the temperature. Whoa. That's just a weird pull that looked red for me. Yeah, no. Absolute drag this is taking so. Actually do it? Oh, good. 9, 9, 9. Starting to get the picture, guys. Nine. Okay, so we can say, remember which switch did which here. So if we go automation, so we flick that one to retract the bridge, we'd flick that one to open the doors. This is one of the weirdest things for me as well, by the way, that I have control over this one thing. Why don't I require it? Like, a dupe has to be used in order to turn on, like, to disable a device, but I could set up a signal switch to disable the device or something, and that would be fine. Alright, we've got a meteor shower coming in, so we've got to be quick here for Meep's sake. Wait, once all this stuff falls through, I'd say that's the clear indication that we're good. Okay. So we can say star map. It's saying that he's already, like... Make rocket go now. There we go. It's cool that there's just sort of like liquid that steams. 150 degrees out there. Or gantry. It turns out it doesn't matter if I open it or close it, it's gonna suffer either way. Alright, so I haven't done anything here, so I'll leave that till the next one. Till we've got this piping in place too. So I assume that that means this is pipe taking this piping to be the other direction. What we need to do is get rid of that guy, and let's just do this with utmost priority, because I just want to do it before we finish up here. And we'll plug in some plumbing for the liquid pipe, and flick that way. Keep that to emergency as well. And Gossman, you definitely got some more exercise ahead of you to up the speed to everyone else. Speaking of, I really should have a go of having a look through my various new dupes and things to make sure that they actually are, like, taking upgrades and benefits and things. Obviously, she wouldn't have had any sort of stuff set up for her. Okay, so now that's facing that way. There we go. Now we've got some liquid heading down the right way. Alright, so let's dig out these. So our hero Ellie is at least getting up there and doing these digs. Just have one of that. Another geyser or anything up there, was there? Alright. So, leaving it off here, we are now in wait of Meep and his return from the ether. We're having a look to see how this does in terms of increasing them. Does this actually give me more natural gas, or was it just that it was just sort of stopping because it was reaching its natural sort of it's used? And we can see that we've finally got water dripping in there, and this guy's getting a chance to do something. If not a lot of stuff. And this guy's lost his power again. So, what's wrong with his power cable? Do I need to make it steel? Is it just overheating too much? Thought it was steel. We'll find out. Yeah, I haven't built the other part of this yet because I do, I guess, want to see how it goes. Heat coming in, heat going out. Obviously, like, either it's got to be that it's going out slightly warmer than it has come in, in which case it's over the time going to get hotter and hotter, or the opposite, it's just getting slightly colder each round, at which point I do need to build that filter system. So the thermopipe filter setup here is definitely on the cards still. It's just I haven't got to it yet. And yeah, so we're laying in wait for this guy to get the job done so that we can get enough water through here to sort of have this guy looked after. I mean, arguably what we can do is just disable the run through to this for now. Actually, let's do that. Let's disable that guy. And then it means that 100% of the liquid coming through there is going between these two guys, as opposed to them sharing like half of the total amount of water in there. Good thinking. Let's do that, and yeah, let's wrap my head around the thermo sensor next time. But as always, any questions or comments, feel free to chuck them below. And until next time, catch you later. See ya.